The views and opinions expressed on this channel are solely those of the host and guest and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. This channel does not promote bias, hatred, or discrimination of any kind. All questions posed and thoughts shared are part of a critical thinking exercise and are not meant to offend or judge any individual or group. We encourage respectful dialogue and love for all. Please remember to think critically and engage thoughtfully. We aim to foster a positive and inclusive community where everyone feels welcome. Thank you for being a part of Risky Behavior ENT.
Risky behavior. Risky behavior.
Yo, what up? I'm back in the building. I know you see the title, The Mayor and the Minor, the fall of Misty Roberts. Very disturbing story. I'm telling you, look, to all you people out there that say you men are predators, look, these women are predators as well. It's like a apocalypse or something out here, and it's like a bunch of pedophile fucking zombies coming after the kids. I mean, damn, how many women, perverts and predators are going to be exposed? I mean, I know they released the Epstein files, man, but it's like, I mean, locally, we have like our own Epstein file with these damn women in these positions, whether they're a teacher. I did one on a counselor, and now this one is on a mayor. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to go to war with these people. They're like zombies. They can't help themselves. You know, like how zombies go after flesh, and they're just like, you know what I'm talking about. But anywho, man, I want to welcome y'all back. Shout out to Miss Sexy K. What is up? What is up? How you doing? How you doing today? I apologize. I know I wasn't even here a week ago, and I got to catch up on everything. Shout out to you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. So today we're talking about Misty Roberts. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm gonna put a picture up of her. I got some videos and stuff that I'm gonna play. Shout out to the Law and Crime Network. Of course, I'm gonna play one of their videos. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and bring a picture of her up so y'all know who I am talking about. Here we go. Let's see. And I'm going to have to share my audio. Okay. There we go. From DeRidder mayor to teen sex crimes conviction, a timeline of the Misty Roberts case. All right. So today we're talking about the former Ritter mayor, Misty Roberts. That's in Louisiana. What happened? Misty Roberts, also known publicly as Misty Clanton Roberts, is the former mayor of DeRidder, Louisiana, who became the center of one of the most high-profile political scandals in the state after being charged and later convicted of multiple sex crimes involving a minor. Okay, so we're going to talk about who she is. At the time of this incident, she was 43. Well, 43 at the time of her conviction. It happened in 2024, so she would have been 41 when this incident happened. Definitely old enough to know better. Okay, old enough to know better. What's notable about this woman is, get this, she is the first woman to serve as mayor of her city. the first woman to serve as mayor, and and she's supposed to be opening the door for other women to come in there and show we can do this fucking job. And she fucks kids at pool parties. That's what she does. Okay. So, uh, oh man, that's crazy. Shout out to Freedom. I don't know what that is, but yeah, I've never tried any of those things. I don't Dreamfish, Colorado River, Toad, Cane. I ain't never tried none of those, man. I'm too scary, dog. I'm too scary, man. Shout out to Miss Sexy K, says she's doing great at work. What up? I got my homie the Prince of Petty in the building. Yo. What up? I did that for my boy, man. Shout out to my brother, man. Shout out to Prince of Petty, says she's an old diddler. She is, man. It's crazy. That's insane. I don't know what crazy is talking about. I'm not putting your comment up. I don't know why you would write something like that, crazy Jay. That was crazy, Jay, that you wrote that. Man. Yam Clapper says, I wish I was that student. You know what? No, man. You think you know that until later on in life and you're dealing with the repercussions of what this adult has done to you. I have friends that have been through things like that. And it seems like it's something you think it's something that you want done to you, but you don't, man. You don't want no woman taking advantage of you. Shout out Prince of Petty says her brother AI getting out of hand. Yeah. All righty then. And shout out to Legacy, came through and says Jesus loves you all. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. All right. So she was the first woman to serve as mayor of the city. Resignation. She abruptly resigned before charges were filed, triggering public speculation. So it seems like somebody may have gave her a clue because she just resigned, which I don't like that. That makes me feel like people are protecting her, right? I think that takes away from her public embarrassment, right? I want them to storm her office and arrest her in front of everybody. Don't give her no fucking hints and give her a chance to resign. And no. All right, so real quick, we'll go over the charges. She faces multiple felony charges tied to a 2024 alcohol-filled pool party at her home. Felony counts: carnal knowledge of a juvenile, indecent behavior with a juvenile, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. These charges stem from allegations that she had sex with her son's 16-year-old friend during the party. Some of the evidence that was presented at trial is a forensic interview from 2025 where her son said he witnessed the act, testimony from both of her children who were present at the party. And imagine how that would be. First of all, I mean, if you even by mistake was walking through your home as a kid and walked in on your mom getting dressed, you would claw your fucking eyes out. Nobody wants to see that. No kid wants to see their mom like that. This boy witnessed his mom, who is the mayor, going to pound town. Crazy. he witnessed his mom going to pound town. That's crazy. Insane. Godlike Gaming says black man playing detective. What does me being black got to do with anything? Shout out to Prince says don't let her resign. Them cuffs should be coming out. Her kids even came out on her. Yeah. This is, let's see. Cool. And now let's go over this article because it gives a better timeline than I ever could. That's insane. All right. A jury found Misty Roberts guilty this week of having sex with a 16-year-old during a 2024 house party while she was still serving as mayor of DeRidder. Judge Kent Savoy, I probably butchered that last name, who's overseeing her case in the 36th Judicial District Court, will sentence her at a later date on her felony conviction of carnal knowledge of a juvenile and indecent behavior with a juvenile. I think her sentencing is supposed to be April 27th, I believe, is what I read. Here's a timeline of her case based on testimony and evidence presented during trial, along with court records, police records, and media reports. March 2024, March 24th, 2018, Roberts is the first woman elected as mayor of DeRidder. July 20th and the 21st of 2024, Misty Roberts hosts a party at her home for her son's birthday, providing alcohol for the teenage attendees and drinking alongside them, according to court testimony. What the fuck? You mean to tell me this boy on his birthday had to witness his mama pound towning one of his friends? This is insane. Roberts flirts with the 16-year-old at the party and has sex with him in the upstairs game room at the house, he later testifies. Disgusting woman. July 2024. That shouldn't have happened, Roberts writes in a text message to her nephew included during her trial. I'm scared to death. She also asked her nephew to please make sure the victim doesn't say anything. Meanwhile, the nephew receives a text message from his mother instructing him to lie to you die about what happened at the party, which he later testified about. What the hell? What kid should be subjected to that? What the hell? What kid? Like, seriously, you you're talking to your aunt about covering up her sleeping with a minor, and your mom, your own mom, is enforcing it. Yeah, that's crazy. They're I don't know what kind of people they're raising. Shout out Prince of Petty says, man, if I saw my mom's doing that, let's just say I wouldn't be in this chat. You be ready, man, bro. You be ready to go down there and hurt somebody, dog. Let's see. Guy like gaming says, you're doesn't you making it racist by saying the black man part and not asking why detective. You wrote black man in there. Yeah. So I'm held accountable for reading what you wrote. You put it in there. It seemed like it bothered you. The black part. What are you talking about? And I'm not suggesting that you're even racist for saying it. I'm saying, like, why put the black man part, or you play detective? That's crazy. I don't have to play detective. Somebody else played detective and came up with all this information, man. Like, don't do that. You know you wrote that, and I just read what you wrote. He trying to spin me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't write that. Prince says, bro, I'm traumatized by just that thought now. Shout out Miss Sexy K, says she needs to be under the jail. Don't pass go. She does. I don't even know what made her think, like, her doing that at a party with kids. You're the mayor. How detached is she from reality? Seriously.
Are you stupid? Are you stupid?
It's crazy. So we got the mom and the auntie in on it, and they're getting the minors, the children, to making them be a part of their lie. Mom told him, boy, you better lie till you die about what happened at the party, which he later testified about. There is another text exchange with Roberts and the mother of the victim, during which the victim's mother suggests Roberts take an emergency contraceptive, according to testimony. These spam calls are getting out of line. I keep getting them. There's another text exchange with Roberts and the mother of the victim, during which the victim's mother suggests Roberts take an emergency contraceptive, according to testimony. On July 2024, a DoorDash driver delivers Plan B emergency contraceptive to Roberts' house, he later testifies. This is insane. She's too old to even be doing shit like this, to even be going through this. And why would you be at a party? You're the mayor. You're at a pool party. A party suggests other people there. Everything, it's like, it's wrong even if she did this in private, but it's just brazen her doing this at a freaking pool party. On July 27, 2024, Roberts submits her formal resignation as mayor of DeRidder. So word got out. Somebody whispered in the ear, "Hey, girl, you might as well go ahead and resign." Okay. August 1st, 2024, Roberts is arrested by Louisiana State Police on one count of third-degree rape, a felony, and one count of contributing to the delinquency of juveniles, a misdemeanor. Why? Yeah, because she's serving alcohol. Like, who the hell buys alcohol for teenagers? Roberts is booked into the Beauregard Parish Jail and released on a $75,000 bond. And I apologize if I said that wrong. On October the 1st, 2024, a grand jury indicts Roberts on a felony charge of carnal knowledge of a juvenile, defined as when someone over 17 has sex with a juvenile between 13 and 16 years of age, and a misdemeanor charge of contributing to the delinquency of juveniles. On June 3rd, 2025, the Louisiana Supreme Court tosses 36 Judicial District Court judges Martha O'Neill and C. Kerry Anderson from the case at the request of Roberts' defense attorney, Adam Johnson. Johnson argued they were biased based on their relationship with Roberts and her ex-husband. Kent Savoy, who sits on the Third Circuit Court of Appeal, would be appointed as an I don't know. Would you supposed to say hawk judge for the case? I guess so. Forgive me if I butchered another word. August 2025. So basically, they threw out these other judges because they probably knew them. They probably all, party together. Like, you know how Diddy like to party. They probably are, allegedly. I'm just saying something, being funny. They probably party together and they know him. So they got them the hell up out of there and put Kent in their place to do the case, the trial. August 2025, a grand jury indicts Roberts on an additional felony charge of indecent behavior with the juvenile. January 27, 2026, jury selection begins in Roberts' trial. Okay. Here goes a news report from that.
Happening now, court proceedings resumed today in the trial of former DeRidder Mayor Misty Roberts after a brief delay by the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. The higher court denied defense motions to quash and several charges, clearing the way for jury selection to continue. Roberts was arrested in 2024, accused of having sex with an underage teen boy. Defense attorney Todd Clemens questioned potential jurors on their views regarding child testimony and the legal definitions of lewd and lascivious behavior. It remains unclear whether opening statements will begin later today or tomorrow morning. KPLC's Devin Cruz is in the courtroom covering that story, and you can look for his updates online and on later editions of 7 News.
All righty. I don't need that no more. All right. So jury selection begins on January 27, 2026. On January 29th, the Third Circuit Court of Appeal throws out the indecent behavior with the juvenile charge because the grand jury proceedings were overseen by O'Neill and Anderson, who had been recused from the case 2 months earlier. So on January the 3rd, Savoy, her defense attorney, declares a mistrial during jury selection. On February the 4th of this year, Roberts pleads not guilty to new charges filed by the state of carnal knowledge of a juvenile and indecent behavior with a juvenile. The misdemeanor charge of contributing to the delinquency of minors is not included in the latest filing. On February 23rd, jury selection begins for new trial. On February 26th, a panel of 6 jurors and 2 alternates is seated and opening statements begin. And you have to read much of this because this court case, they did not allow any footage at all inside the court. And so therefore we have to read it because we can't, see it. Like in some of the other stories they do allow cameras in there. In this case, they didn't. What up, Katie? I'm reading the timeline for the mayor in Louisiana that was having sex with her son's friend at a pool party. So we're just going over the timeline. Misty Roberts is her name. Yeah. Shout out to Prince Petty says you're playing detective by reading an article and giving your opinion on it. Diabolical. That's diabolical. I know. The spam call said they want their truck payments. I know, right? They be spam calling you about anything. You be like, what? Huh? I don't know what they be doing. They be just fishing for somebody to give them any information. Okay. On March 3rd, 2026, the jury finds Roberts guilty of felony charges of carnal knowledge of a juvenile and indecent behavior with a juvenile after deliberating for less than an hour. On March 5th, 2026, Roberts registers as a sex offender. Her defense attorney asked the community for grace as attention around the case continues. We ask the public to remember that behind every headline, there's a real person and a family living through it. Whatever. We should have that for the victim, not her. On April 17th, Savoy is scheduled to sentence Roberts. The carnal knowledge charges. The carnal knowledge charge carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison, and the indecent behavior charge carries a maximum sentence of 7 years. I'm pretty sure she's gonna get a slap on the wrist. Let's see. Prince says, wait, that's my state. Yeah, Prince, you ain't know that this whole time. Yo, you been cracking. You was talking shit earlier saying, that tells you a lot about that state. You didn't know that. Where is that comment at when you said that? Man. Watch. Here you go. Well, you said city. Says a lot about that city, huh? Yeah, you put that. Man, that's crazy. I thought you realized that already. All righty then. I also want to encourage anybody as you come into the room, if you're watching this right now live or on the replay, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Turn your notification bell on, please. All righty. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so that's the timeline. Also, when I'm over and done with, I'll be putting a lot of these links into the description for anybody that wants to go over this stuff on their own. Another picture of her, the mayor, first lady mayor of her city, and she chose to get drunk with teenagers and sleep with them. This is more new. This is a news report saying prosecution says it has lewd and lascivious photo of then DeRidder mayor and victim. There was one young man. There was a teenager at the party, right? That says that he used his camera to, like, I guess, zoom in and see what was going on inside of the house. And it was on the Snapchat, right? But the problem is he deleted everything on his Snapchat because he also had pictures of him drinking at the party. And he says that he deleted it because he just didn't want to get caught drinking. He knew he wasn't supposed to be drinking. So
statements highlighting a trail of text messages and alleged bias by investigators. Court is back in session today for the sex crimes trial of former DeRidder Mayor Misty Roberts. Good afternoon. I'm Morgan Babineau. KPLC's Devin Cruz joins us live from the DeRidder courthouse. Devin, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Morgan, starting with all of the procedural stuff, this morning, the entire morning was jury selection, and that was after yesterday's issues with having a full jury. Ultimately, today in the afternoon, both sides finally got the chance to give their opening statements to the jury. Now, we'll start with the prosecutors. The prosecution addressed the jury first, describing what he calls a lewd photo that was uncovered in their investigation of Roberts and a minor the night of a party. ADA Charles Robinson said several teens witnessed the incident in question. He went on to outline a text conversation between Roberts and the young man's mother that discussed Roberts' use of birth control. Roberts' defense team told jurors their client is being railroaded. Defense attorney Adam Johnson says she has been targeted, pointing to previous conduct by a judge who's been dismissed from the case. He also highlighted what he called a biased state police investigation. We heard him quote the same line he did in the evidence hearing a couple of weeks back, where the detective agreed she said either the witnesses needed to get on board with the train or get run over. He also said no one reported the alleged crime incident to detectives, and they only became involved after social media started churning, and he said that tainted the investigation. Now, Judge Savoy said before opening statements that the trial very well may run into Saturday. He also said that they ended early today because of some sort of evidence issue. We'll be back here again at 9 a.m. tomorrow, but for now, reporting here in DeRidder, Devin Cruz, 7 News.
Good evening, I'm Brennan Brown. KPLC's Devin Cruz joins us live from DeRidder with what happened in court today. Devin.
Yeah, Brendan, ultimately we heard from 3 total witnesses today. I'll go ahead and break down 2 for you because they've had so much content that they talked about. It's all I can really fit in right now. So we'll start off the top. Roberts' ex-husband, Duncan Clanton, took the stand this afternoon and testified that Roberts told him directly that she had sex with the minor and that their kids had caught them in the act. Clanton says he talked to their son, who confirmed it. Text messages shown to the jury revealed Duncan Clanton advised Roberts to deny everything on the day she had a city council meeting as acting mayor. He also texted her that he, quote, played dumb and denied it after local city councilman and current mayoral candidate Danny Reynolds called him about the alleged incident. Roberts texted Clinton, quote, I need you to deny it, please. Earlier in the day, Roberts' lifelong best friend Jill Weaver took the stand. She admitted to discussing keeping the alleged incident from police and texting her son, quote, We lie till we die. Weaver also described the night of the party as, quote, a lot. It was chaos, and testified that at one point Roberts talked about wanting to harm herself. The defense today worked to challenge the credibility of two of the witnesses, pointing to Clinton's interest in an ongoing custody battle and the previous conflict of interest issues with Judge O'Neill, who was removed from the case by the Louisiana Supreme Court. They also highlighted conflicting statements among multiple witnesses who've now testified. And that was only just two of the three witnesses we heard from today. The other one is one of the friends who was at the party at the night of the alleged incident. Now, Judge Savoy says we will be taking Sunday off, but we'll be back here Monday morning. Again, if you want a full story, if you want the breakdown, if you want that third witness, you're going to have to look for that on our website. It's not up there right now, but we will have it up shortly. But for now, reporting live in DeRidder, Devin Cruz, 7 News.
You said I should try to play the victim and stuff. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot of alcohol, a lot of fucking going on. What are you talking about? It was a lot. What was a lot? Insane. I'm about to get into the video from Law and Crime. Shout out to Law and Crime. Make sure you go and subscribe over at Law and Crime for all things true crime, kind of like a one-stop shop, if you will.
Story her own son is telling about what he allegedly saw happen. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
Hi, I'm Price.
Case with us, and we're able to bring you this story because of our incredible partner, Morgan.
All right.
102 deserve. Is free, different background.
I had to skip through that. All right, let's get into it.
Sexual predators don't have one description. They can come from all different backgrounds and they can be all different ages. And this story truly is an example of that. And the person at the center of this story is the once mayor of DeRidder, Louisiana. Her name is Mayor Misty Roberts. She's a divorced mom of two who allegedly took advantage of a 16-year-old boy at a pool party in 2024. Now, she is fighting these accusations hard. She has pleaded not guilty, and she is innocent until proven guilty. But prosecutors are stacking a case against her that includes the words of her own family members, including her own son, when she signed a proclamation making April of that year Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month.
Yo, she signed something for Child Abuse Awareness Month. What does she want them to be aware of her? What she's doing? That's insane. Shout out to Miss Sexy K. Says she's trying to take her son down with her. And that popped up in my head because for her to, in a way, she's publicly calling her children liars. She's, instead of saying, taking accountability and taking, for what she did, she's willing to make her son look like he's a liar and like he's stupid and like he didn't see what he see. And she's traumatizing him all over again just to save her own ass. And then you got her sister, because the then you got the mom's sister is also in on it too, with the whole, what she told him, lie till you die comment. It's insane. And these people hide in plain sight. The same mayor that signs into a proclamation talking about awareness for abuse against children, and she's the one abusing the children.
So you can see that this came as a shock to this and prevention month, making April of that, including her own son, when she signed a proclamation making April of that year Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. So you can see that this came as a shock to the people of this community that their own mayor, a two-term mayor, by the way, would be accused of something so horrific. Let's break down what allegedly happened on a hot summer night in 2024 in Southwest Louisiana. So Roberts is actually currently on trial for this, and we've been following this closely. Louisiana, though, it's one of those states, they don't allow cameras in the courtroom, so all the details we're getting on the explosive testimony that is happening inside are coming from reporters with local media stations, including KPLC TV. So prosecutors allege that in 2024, in the summer of that year, there was this pool party at the house of then Mayor Misty Roberts. A little bit more about her. She is the first female mayor in the history of DeRidder, Louisiana. It's a town of about 10,000 people in the southwest part of that state, not far actually from the Texas border. She was elected first in 2018. She made history then, and she did well enough during that first term to keep the voters' trust, and she was elected to a second term in 2022. Roberts at home, she was a mom to 2 kids, both of them believed to be roughly teenage years, and they will play a big part in their mom's case. Prosecutors say that they have pictures from the party that was held at Mayor Roberts' house, and they allegedly are pictures of kids holding drinks by the pool, and the mayor, according to KPLC TV, is in a bikini with her alleged victim by her side. Now, there are alleged.
And I would assume, like, even look at that. So bold. To her, it's okay. You threw this party at your house. You gave alcohol to underage kids. You are like you're the mayor. You're somebody should be looking up to. I would assume the laws should mean more to you than other people because you sit in that office. And you throw a party like this at your house, and then there people are taking pictures. Like she didn't even try to hide it.
Are you stupid? Are you stupid?
Crazy. Shout out Miss Sexy K. She's referring to the son. She says, yeah, she wants him to lie for her. I wouldn't have nothing to do with her. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's a terrible person. She's victimizing her son all over again.
Text messages between Roberts and her son where she asks the teenager what he wants for alcohol at this party. So giving booze to kids at a party when they're underage, it's not something you would expect from an elected official, but prosecutors say this story is so much worse than that. Robert's son has reportedly testified and gave an interview to forensic investigators after the party happened that he allegedly saw his mom having sex with a teenager at the party, and he allegedly saw it happening through a window at the house. Then on top of that, he allegedly texted his mom, quote, he is 17. He said that his younger sister was crying because of what allegedly was going down inside the house. Now, prosecutors say the victim was actually 16 the night that all of this happened. Robert's daughter was allegedly crying because she also allegedly witnessed her mom sexually abusing this 16-year-old boy who was at the party. And that girl said that she saw her mom and the alleged victim, quote, on top of each other. So then you have Robert's nephew, who's already testified at this trial, and he said that he used his phone's camera to see what the mayor was doing inside the house. And he told a courtroom that he was actually unsure if he ever hit record, so he never sent the video to anyone. And he also turned his phone over to investigators, but said the history on stage.
I got to pause for a minute because something that is just popped into my head is why would her son text her he's 17? How was she raising these children, right? Because think about it. If you pair the information with each other, right? You have a mom who texts her son, what kind of alcohol do you want for your party? Right? So there's this open, inappropriate relationship already. And then for a son to see his mom having sex, right? And the first thing that pops in his head is, hey, he's 17. So would he have not minded it if the person wasn't 17? Why would he go with that? It's kind of like his mom, perhaps he's seen his mom do other inappropriate things in front of him. It's just weird. I think I would have just flew into a blind rage. Like, what the fuck? Like, that you would be having sex with anybody at my party would flip me out. I wouldn't hone in on the 17 part. Not as a young kid, I wouldn't. As an adult, I might. But as a kid, I don't know if that would have been my response. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching, but that just seems odd to me that it would seem like he's been growing up around her and made to feel comfortable with her behavior, but he just in this incident, he just witnessed her doing something that could get her seriously locked up. And he was just trying to bring attention to her of that. Yeah, Prince, it's saying the girl saw it too. So it's Prince said, I would have been in the fetal position. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's used to seeing her do other it's no telling what secrets. And then when you look at the message where remember the mom says, you lie till you die. It's no telling how many secrets this boy has been keeping for this family. Shout out Miss Sexy K says, oh yeah, I'm sure they saw her doing a lot. Yeah. That's why I think that just struck me weird with the whole, hey, what kind of alcohol do you want? And then when he texts her, he goes, hey, he's 17. I don't know if that's something that a minor, another 16-year-old would think, especially if you've seen your mom have sex. I don't think your first thought would be the age of the person. Like, you're going to be flipping out, man. Nobody want to see their mama doing it.
Snapchat was already wiped out. And that was, he says, because he was afraid of the pictures of him drinking would get him in trouble with the authorities. Then you have another teen witness at this trial who claims that the victim was drunk.
Let me see. All right, that's the witness I was talking about with the Snapchat earlier.
And that was, he says, because he was a history on, never sent the video to anyone. And he also turned his phone. He was actually unsure if he ever hit record, so he never sent the video to anyone. And he also turned his phone over to investigators, but said the history on Snapchat was already wiped out. And that was, he says, because he was afraid of the pictures of him drinking would get him in trouble with the authorities. Then you have another teen witness at this trial who claims that the victim was drunk to the point that they vomited at this party, and Roberts was seen as talkative and dancing, and that witness claims to have seen Mayor Roberts flirting, in their words, with the alleged victim. Now, we'll get more into Roberts' defense in a moment, but her attorneys have argued that all the witness statements from the teenagers who were at this party, they are not consistent, and they don't really prove anything other than a rumor. Now, perhaps one of the most damning witnesses in this case, though, is not a party goer. It's a DoorDash driver, a driver who said that he delivered emergency contraceptives to Misty Roberts' house. Prosecutors say that the mom of the alleged victim actually texted the mayor asking if she was pregnant after the party. Roberts allegedly replied in a text message that she was on birth control, but she would take Plan B, the emergency contraceptive used to prevent pregnancy, often right after people have sex. Now, the DoorDash driver, he testifies in this trial. Think of someone who is just doing their side gig and you get wrapped up into a trial like this. So this DoorDash driver, he's at the trial, he testifies that the order that he made a run for to get Plan B, the user who ordered it went by the name Misty C. Now, he also said that he knew that it was Misty's house because he allegedly went there already with his kids around Halloween to go trick-or-treating. On Monday, the victim's mom testified that her son told her that he did have sex with Mayor Roberts. According to KPLC TV, the local station in the courtroom, the mom said, quote, he said that they had sex and that he was disgusted. Quote, he apologized and we said he had nothing to apologize for. She said her son told her that the mayor was flirting with him that night, complimenting him and wearing a bikini at this party where it's been reported that the youngest person was just 14 years old. The defense has pointed out that the mom didn't go to the police when she learned her son claimed that he had sex with the mayor. The mom reportedly said that she didn't go to authorities in their small town because the boss of the police department was the mayor. Instead,
youngest person, 14 years old. Damn. You know what's crazy? I mean, you might send your kids to a pool party, right? You know, when you have children, you know, your kids say, oh, you know, so-and-so's having a birthday party. Can I go? And it's always like, you know, you don't want your kids going to other people's houses. But I'm pretty sure if you say, hey, it's the mayor's house, you like, yeah. Because you would naturally just assume, I mean, it's the mayor's house. Of course it's safe. Especially it's a woman, because people assume, you know, it's a woman, she's a mom, and she's the mayor. Surely she ain't, you know, Shirley is perfectly fine. Nah, man. Not at her house. She getting them drunk. And then it's straight to Pound Town.
Years old. The defense has pointed out that the mom didn't go to the police when she learned her son claimed that he had sex with the mayor. The mom reportedly said that she didn't go to authorities in their small town because the boss of the police department was the mayor. Instead, she met with local prosecutors. On July 27th, 2024.
So the son tells the mom, and the mom don't even know who to go and tell. And she's probably completely right. If she would have just went straight to the police department, it was a big, you know, it was a chance that they might sweep that under the rug. And that's the problem when you have people like that in positions of power. Who do you run to tell? Like, you go to tell the protectors what happened to you, but what happened to you was done by the people that's supposed to protect you. That's just crazy. I couldn't imagine. Shout out to that mom. I don't know if I would have drove anywhere but her house to whoop her ass. I don't know if I think I'm going to the mayor's house and I'm knocking on the door and I'm pretending like he left his cell phone or something. And then we're going to handle business.
Mayor Misty Roberts, the first female mayor in the history of DeRidder, Louisiana, this two-term mayor, she abruptly resigned from her position. Her last mention on the city's Facebook page is her signing a proclamation for a nonprofit that helps local kids in Southwest Louisiana. Days after her resignation, Mayor Roberts was booked into jail. And initially, she was charged with third-degree rape and a misdemeanor charge of contributing to the delinquency of juveniles for allegedly providing alcohol for the party at her house. After her first case ended in a mistrial, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment, Roberts was charged with carnal knowledge of a juvenile and indecent behavior of a juvenile. Now, another key witness in this trial, Roberts' ex-husband. He testified that Misty directly confessed to having sex with that teenage boy. He also testified that the mayor asked him to call the victim's family just to gauge what their reaction was. According to the ex-husband's testimony, there was an alleged effort to cover up what happened. He says that he texted Misty before a city council meeting saying, quote, "I would deny what happened if you're approached by anyone at the meeting," end quote. Now, these are texts, by the way, according to KPLC TV, that are being presented to the jury. So it's not just hearsay that these text messages were sent, but her defense is pushing back on some of these texts and the meaning behind them. Now, Misty's ex-husband says that he was asked about the incident from a city councilor, and then he texted, quote, "I played dumb and denied it." Then the mayor allegedly texted her ex-husband, quote, "I need you to deny it, please." Roberts also allegedly texted, quote, "I can't keep hurting others, friends, and family. Lord knows I've done enough." Now, Mayor Roberts' lifelong best friend, her name is Jill Weaver. She took the stand, and she also has some alleged damning text messages of her own, including one that she sent to her own son that said, quote, "Lie till you die." Then there is a group chat that Weaver testifies about where there is a text from Mayor Misty Roberts saying, quote, "I'm telling you he didn't." That is when prosecutors asked Weaver, and this is a little bit explicit to say here, but prosecutors asked Weaver what she believed that text message from Misty Roberts meant. The text message of, quote, "I'm telling you he didn't." And Weaver said that she interpreted that as the 16-year-old did not ejaculate during sex. So you can see that there are some what appears to be damning pieces of evidence in this case against now former Mayor Misty Roberts. But the defense is trying to argue that the evidence against Roberts is more rumor than it is fact. Now, this is actually the second time, by the way, that Roberts has been on trial for this. Her first trial ended in a mistrial after her defense was successful in arguing that the judges who oversaw the grand jury proceedings had been recused from the case. The original indictment against Roberts was thrown out, so the prosecution had to refile charges, and that leads us to the trial that is currently underway in Louisiana. Now, the defense in this current trial is arguing that Misty's ex-husband, he's actually a biased witness, according to KPLC TV, and Misty's attorney is arguing that the ex could actually benefit if she's found guilty in this case. And they point to the fact that there were bond conditions where Roberts wasn't allowed to see her kids unless she had consent from her ex-husband. Now, even though Roberts' best friend's testimony laid out that she believed Roberts had sex,
you can already see like the favoritism and leniency because nobody else would be allowed to be around any children when facing charges like this. So that's crazy. Shout out to Prince of Petty says saying her house is safe is like going to Magic Johnson's house in mosquito season. Yo, man. Yeah. Man, that's insane, dog.
with the boy, the defense did point out that she cannot say for certain that Roberts had sex. Then the defense is pointing to several witnesses, those teenagers who were at the party, and they're just pointing inconsistencies in the story of where people were at certain times when people saw things, trying to show that you really don't have, in their opinion, a very clear piece of evidence proving what Mayor Misty Roberts is accused of. And the defense continues to try to attack the credibility of each and every witness on the stand. It is important to note that it is unclear if and when the alleged victim in this case will take the stand. Join us now to talk more about this case is Krista Ramey, a trial attorney who represents survivors of sexual abuse. Thank you, as always, for being with us here.
All right. Cut it. Need to cut it. All right.
She was her city's first.
All right. So long story short, she was found guilty. We just gotta wait on sentencing.
Her city's first female mayor. Now she's been found guilty of having sex with a minor. Her own children telling authorities they saw their mom being inappropriate with a 16-year-old at a pool party. Here's Ann Ricagliano.
She's the glamorous mayor just convicted of having sex with her son's 16-year-old best friend at an alcohol-fueled pool party. Mayor Misty Roberts was accused of plying teens with alcohol while wearing only a bikini. KPLC TV reporter Devin Cruz covered every day of the sensational trial. The mayor was seen in a bikini giving alcohol to minors.
She was seen in a bikini, and several witnesses testified that Miss Roberts or Misty Roberts had gotten the alcohol for the kids and had stocked a fridge. They were by the pool and they began kissing.
Then they went inside the mayor's home. Her own 16-year-old son told investigators that he saw his mother having sex with his friend through the window and that kids at the party had video. Court testimony revealed the mayor's younger daughter was crying at the party and asking people to go and make the victim and the defendant stop. The next day, the victim's mom learned about the sexual encounter and feared a possible pregnancy, texting the mayor, "Out of respect for both our families, can you assure me that you can't be pregnant?" "Yes," responded the mayor, stating that she was on birth control. There was also
Let me rewind that. This is insane.
Kids at the party had video. Court testimony with his friend through the window and that kids at the party had video. Court testimony revealed the mayor's younger daughter was crying at the party and asking people to go and make the victim and the defendant stop. The next day, the victim's mom learned about the sexual encounter and feared a possible pregnancy, texting the mayor, "Out of respect for both our families, can you assure me that you can't be pregnant?" "Yes," responded the mayor, stating that she was on birth control. There was also testimony from a DoorDash.
So she was putting on a show to the point where this is a grown ass woman having sex at her son's pool party with a 16-year-old, and she putting on a show. You got other kids at the party recording this to the point where her own daughter says, "Can you please go make them stop?" That's crazy. And then you got a mom of the 16-year-old texting her, just, "Hey, out of respect for both our families, can you assure that you can't get pregnant?" These some sick ass people.
Delivery driver who said that he received an order from the mayor for the morning after abortion pill to be delivered to her doorstep after the party. Jurors began to deliberate last night, and it took them less than an hour to deliver the verdict. The unanimous verdict: guilty of carnal knowledge of a juvenile and indecent behavior with a juvenile.
She did become very emotional, and she began crying.
Before the mayor's arrest, she had promised to always lead the city of DeRidder with her heart.
I might not look like or feel like or speak like every other mayor in America, but I am a mayor that will always be who I am, and I will lead the city with my heart.
The mayor resigned from office just.
Oh man, what did she say? Because I don't think she lied. See, people can say anything, right? Like, "I'm a mayor that will always be who I am." If we don't know who you are, that statement doesn't mean anything.
To always lead the city of DeRidder with her heart.
I might not look like or feel like or speak like every other mayor in America, but I am a mayor that will always be who I am, and I will lead the city with my heart.
What she meant was she will always be a predator. And in her heart is a fondness of sleeping with teenagers at pool parties. She kept her word. She kept her word. So Miss Sexy K says, let's see if she gets a pardon. I don't think she's gonna get that much time. I really don't. I think she's gonna get a slap on the wrist and go on about her business. And that's what's sad, because they don't care. They don't care about children, and they especially do not care about teenagers. You can see, like, the older the kid is, the more lax they are when it comes to punishment. So I personally, I don't feel like she's gonna get that much time. Prince says, the good news about this is her kids are against predators. Yeah, but Prince, is sad they're surrounded by predators that are teaching them the wrong things, and they send a message saying, "Lie till you die." Shout out to Deborah Temple, says that's nasty. For sure it is. It's a disgusting woman. Shout out to Prince of Petty, says she leading all right. It came out and she let it back in. Yo, I should have read that all the way before I read it out loud. But yeah, man, she's a certified pervert. That's what she is, man. This lady insane.
The mayor resigned from office just.
She ain't. She had to know they was watching. Like, that's how much she ain't give a damn. She had sex in front of those kids, her daughter crying, and she's on being recorded, and she got a fucking problem. I don't know if it's like the alcoholism or something she got, or what she mixed with her being a predator. They say she got an ex-husband. I'm not giving her excuses. I don't know what made her. She just threw everything a fucking way. Something's wrong with her.
Days before her arrest.
Misty Roberts' lawyer says she's very disappointed with the verdict. Her sentencing is scheduled for April 17th.
So she's disappointed in the verdict, but not disappointed in herself. And you see how they try to say, like, during the court proceedings, they try to act as if, oh, this is just a rumor. See how this is a perfect example how these people in positions of power can make everybody else look crazy. I mean, the witnesses, what the witnesses are saying don't make sense. Their stories don't really line up. This is just nothing more but a rumor. This is just a vicious rumor. Mind you, they're saying this about victims. All the witnesses were victims because they were underage people at a party in which she supplied them alcohol. But this is how they talk about the victims. They just call them witnesses and they say their statements don't match it, and they tried to spin this as if this is just some rumor. When she knows everybody saw her,
breaking news tonight. A jury just found former DeRidder Mayor Misty Roberts guilty on 2 charges.
The jury deliberated an hour before finding Roberts guilty of indecent behavior with a juvenile and carnal knowledge of a juvenile.
My bad, my computer glitched. Hold on, let me rewind it.
Well, breaking news tonight. A jury just found former DeRidder Mayor Misty Roberts guilty on 2 charges.
The jury deliberated for around an hour before finding Roberts guilty of indecent behavior with the juvenile and carnal nature.
What the hell? Damn, why is it glitching? I'm glad I done got most of my information out the way. I don't know why it's doing that. That's insane. My apologies, man. I don't know why it's doing that.
Well, breaking news tonight. A jury just found former DeRidder Mayor Misty Roberts guilty on 2 charges.
The jury deliberated for around an hour before finding Roberts guilty of indecent behavior with a juvenile and carnal knowledge of a juvenile. Now, Roberts was accused of having sex with a teen at a 2024 pool party while she was mayor. And today, there was more shocking testimony from the teen at the center of the trial. He took to the stand today and described in detail what he says happened the night of the alleged incident. He testified Roberts was really drunk and he'd also been drinking heavily. He then told jurors they had sex.
He testified that afterwards he realized what was happening. He claims Roberts and her son got into a fight in which she allegedly said, "Go fight your friend. He's the one who did it." After closing arguments, the judge gave the jury their instructions. We have more details about what happened in court today on our website. Well, breaking news tonight. The jury just found former DeRidder Mayor
He testified Roberts was really drunk and he'd also been drinking heavily. He then told jurors they had sex.
He testified that afterwards he realized what was happening. He claims Roberts and her son got into a fight in which she allegedly said, "Go fight your friend. He's the one who did it." After closing arguments, the judge...
See how you play all these videos and you just get more and more information. So after sleeping with her son's friend and everybody, her and her son get into an argument about this. And she very cold, very evil woman says, Go fight your friend. He's the one that did it. Like, this is insane. This is somebody's mom. This is the mayor giving out alcohol at a party. Has a full-on Take Me to Pound Town show for all the teenagers there that she's serving alcohol, getting drunk. Made her son witness this. Her daughter witnessed it, was crying, begging people, please make him stop. And afterwards, she looks her son in the face and says, go fight your friend. He the one did it. Yo, she's can't make this up. Can't make it up. Shout out Deborah Temple says, you good, at least we know about her sick ass. Oh man, appreciate that. Appreciate that. I don't know why I did that. I was like, man, let me rewind it. Cause I know I watched this one and stuff, man. Exactly. She's a sick puppy. She's sick, man. That's heartless. That's heartless. Like, she is evil. And then during the trial and after all of this, to make him look like a liar, to make him look like he's crazy, to all those victims, to make them look like they're crazy, like they didn't see what they saw. They making it up. It's just a rumor, but you ordering Plan Bs to be dropped off and delivered to your house. That woman's evil. And you know what's so sad about it is, she may just honestly get away with it.
Okay, she's right around here. Okay. Misty, did you want to say anything about the
Adam, I'll give you a call, man.
Huh? All right, fellas. Little privacy. Appreciate it.
You hear that? A little privacy. A little privacy. She ain't want no privacy when she was having sex with that boy at the party. She was putting on the show for everybody. How the hell she wanted some damn, now she want privacy? Man, please, man. They glad I ain't know about this. I'm about to start leading protests and stuff, man. Look, I'm not gonna do nothing violent, but man, oh man, I would have ran up with a bucket of tomato soup, and I would have just tossed it all on her and just ran off. Cause ain't nobody out there. They in some little small town. Ain't nobody out there. You can get away with something like that, throwing tomato sauce on people. Shout out to President Petty, says she'll get away with it. Her sentencing will be a fraction of the max, nowhere close. You know how they do women. Yeah, there's a lot more leniency when it does come to women, man. It really does. That's why I really don't believe them sometimes when they speak and say, hey, you know, get rid of the patriarchy. Like, get out of here. You ain't getting rid of what part of it? Because you don't want to get rid of the leniency that you get in the when it comes to the law and being in that courtroom. So
Okay, she's right around here. Okay. Misty, did you want to say anything about the
Adam, I'll give you a call, man.
Huh?
She don't even want to talk to the people. She don't even want to talk to the people. Misty, give us some answers.
A bombshell verdict in the shocking case.
All right. I think I opened up too many tabs. That's what it is. I went overboard, insane, crazy with the tab. Shout out Deborah Temple says white women. Look at her evil ass. Oh my goodness. You look at her eyes.
Case of a
Once again, shout out to Law and Crime on the Case.
Accused of having sex with her son's underage teen friend at a pool party. This is video of former Mayor Misty Roberts leaving court per KPLC after what was the most shocking day of her trial. What the victim, the star witness for the prosecution, told jurors on the stand, and the damning line that he says the mayor said after she had sex with him. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Real quick, we cover this year you mind and right from your couch, and you could be covered in 10 to the time to pull the 10,000.
Let me skip all of this.
The saga of former Mayor Misty Roberts is just so hard to comprehend. You have a woman who's a mom to 2 kids. She was a 2-term mayor. In fact, she was the first female mayor in her town's history. In a lot of ways, a real trailblazer. But she's also someone who took advantage of a boy at a pool party. This is video per KPLC TV in Louisiana of former Mayor Roberts leaving court after a shocking verdict in her case. Now, before I get to that verdict and what could happen next, let's talk about this story because it is the kind you typically don't see a top elected official accused of a sex crime like this. Now, Roberts, she's a former mayor. She actually hasn't been the mayor of DeRidder, Louisiana since July 27th, 2024. And that's when she abruptly resigned from office. DeRidder is a small town, less than 10,000 people. It's about 4 hours from New Orleans. It's really in the southwest part of the state, close to the Texas border. Now, you go back to the day that she resigned in 2024, and it was really hard to make sense as to why this mayor, who had so much going for her, again, she had won her second term in 2022, things seemed to be going well. Why would she step down, seemingly out of the blue? But then days later, the people of DeRidder got their answer. Misty Roberts was arrested for allegedly having sex with a 16-year-old boy at a pool party. Roberts was initially charged with third-degree rape and a misdemeanor charge of contributing to the delinquency of juveniles for allegedly providing the alcohol for the party at her house. The road to this verdict has taken years. This was not the first time that Roberts was on trial in this particular case. And her first trial actually ended in a mistrial. That was after her defense argued that judges who oversaw the grand jury proceedings had been recused from the case. So prosecutors had to file a new indictment against Roberts. And this time she was charged with carnal knowledge of a juvenile and indecent behavior of a juvenile. Those are charges that she faced in the trial that we're now talking about. So let's break down what authorities say happened at this boozy pool party in 2024. Now, Louisiana is a state where they don't allow cameras in the courtroom, so we were not able to see the testimony for ourselves, and we have been relying on the media reports by local outlets like KPLC TV, which did a great job covering every single day of this trial. Now, before we get to what was the finale of the trial, this bombshell verdict, let's talk about the testimony in this case. And the star witness in this case was the victim. And it appears that he was the last witness to take the stand. And all the testimony from the several witnesses and the people who took the stand in this trial, it centers around this pool party that was held in the summer of 2024. So Mayor Roberts holds this pool party, and it's not a pool party, it seems, really for adults. It was a pool party that was for her kids and their friends. Roberts has a son and a daughter. Both appear to be teenagers. And prosecutors say that there are text messages, and they're text messages that they presented to the jury, of Roberts asking her son what kind of alcohol he wants at the party. This kid is roughly 16 years old, so he is not 21. Prosecutors say that they have pictures from this party, and those pictures allegedly show kids holding drinks by the pool. And then you have the mayor, according to KPLC, she was reportedly in a bikini with her alleged victim by her side. So this party was already something that, as you're hearing this, you might look at it sideways, this mom providing booze for her kids. And she was also reportedly very much part of this pool party. Witness.
And I'm also pretty sure she's probably been working on that young man for a while. And I think this pool party and the alcohol was just her perfect time for her to strike in her head, you know. So she probably like, she probably seen him, you know, coming by the house, hanging out with her son and stuff like that. She's probably been working him for a minute and grooming him, getting him ready for this position, you know, and stuff. So that she's probably been working on this boy for a minute, man. That's how these predators do, man. Like, this ain't her first time encountering this young man.
This is reported that she was being flirty with the 16-year-old victim, that she was dancing at this party in a swimsuit. There was a picture that KPLC TV said that prosecutors called lewd that was shown to jurors, and it's a picture of the mayor in her swimsuit with the victim. But the reporter also said that when you look at the picture, you can't really see the majority of their bodies. But again, it was described by prosecutors as lewd. Now, as the night went on, the mayor reportedly goes into a room with the 16-year-old victim. And in that room is where they had sex. The mayor's own son testified that he saw his mom sleeping with the 16-year-old through a crack in a window. Then you have Robert's nephew, who said that he used his phone's camera to see what the mayor was doing inside the room. And he told a courtroom that he was unsure if he ever hit record. So it's not like he sent a video to anybody, but he turned his phone over to investigators. He said that his Snapchat history was wiped because he was afraid that there would be pictures of him drinking at this party that would get him in trouble. Now, on Tuesday, the victim took the stand, really the star witness for the prosecution. And this was after days of testimony and several witnesses, everything built to this point. And that victim on the stand did say that Mayor Roberts had sex with him inside the room in the house. He said he was very drunk at the time. And what seems to be one of the most damning lines from the entire trial, the victim told the jury that after sex, the mayor gets into this very vocal, verbal fight with her son and reportedly told her son, quote, "Go find your friend. He's the one who did it." Now, the victim's mom, she testified earlier in the week, and she said that her son had told her that the mayor had sex with him. And she even said that she texted the mayor asking if she was pregnant. Now, think about being a parent and having to send that to another person your age about your child. Mayor Roberts allegedly replied to that text saying that she was on birth control, but she would take Plan B, the emergency contraceptive that's used to prevent pregnancy that people often take after having sex. And reportedly, the mayor actually ordered Plan B on DoorDash. The driver testified in this trial that there was a user named Misty C who he delivered Plan B to. And he said he knew it was the house of Mayor Misty Roberts because he actually brought his kids to the house on Halloween for trick-or-treating. This is a small town. So the defense pointed out throughout this trial that the victim's mom did not go to the police when she learned that her son claimed to have had sex with the mayor. The mom reportedly said she didn't go to the police because they live in a small town and the boss of the police is the mayor. Instead, she met with local prosecutors. Another key witness in this trial was Misty Roberts' ex-husband, and he testified that Misty directly confessed to having sex with the teenager. He says that the mayor asked him to call the victim's family to see what their reaction was. And according to the ex-husband's testimony, there was an alleged effort to cover up what happened. He says that he texted Misty before a city council meeting saying, quote, "I would deny what happened if you're approached by anyone at the meeting." He says that he was asked about the incident from a city councilor, and he said, quote, "I played dumb and denied it." These are all texts that were presented to the jury per KPLC. Now, the mayor allegedly texted her ex-husband, quote, "I need you to deny it. please. Roberts also allegedly texted, quote, I can't keep hurting others, friends, and family. Lord knows I've done enough.
Shout out to Debra Temple, says unacceptable. She's a grown-ass woman messing with a 16-year-old. Disgusting. Put her under the jail. Shout out my homie, the Prince of Petty, says this junk is crazy. I just wish it was more protection for children. To me, it's just too much conversation going on. It's too much conversation going on between these adults. Like, I'm sorry, man. I can't say what I'll do on YouTube, but I ain't talking about all this back and forth and trying to fit it. Nothing. I ain't doing all that talking back and forth. This is insane. It's crazy, man. Like they talking about this like somebody left a jacket at the fucking house. We talking about somebody that's getting teenagers drunk and screwing them. Like what? But I don't know. They says I don't know. Maybe this is just some small town weird shit that just maybe that's just their way of life, and that's why they. I don't know. I just don't see where nobody was just. The anger I would have, I could not contain. It would be no way to express it through text messages and phone calls and all this talking and stuff. I don't get it.
Lifelong best friend named Jill Weaver also took the stand in this trial, and she had some alleged damning text messages of her own, including one where she texted her son, quote, lie till you die. Her son was also at this party. Then there's a group chat where Weaver testified about a text from Roberts that said, quote, I'm telling you he didn't. And then Weaver on the stand told the jury that she believed that meant that the 16-year-old did not ejaculate during sex. Now you can see here, there are some incredibly damning text messages that were presented to the jury and just some very, very graphic pieces of information presented by the prosecution. The defense, though, tried to argue that the evidence against the mayor, it was really more rumor than it was fact. The defense argued that Misty's ex-husband was a biased witness. Her attorney stated that the ex-husband could benefit if she's found guilty in this case, and they pointed to bond conditions for Roberts that stopped her from seeing her kids without her ex-husband's consent. And even though her best friend's testimony laid out that she believed that Roberts had sex with the boy, the defense pointed out that Jill Weaver could not say for certain that Roberts had sex. And then the defense also pointed to the several witnesses, especially the teenagers who were at this party, teenagers who were drinking at this party, as having statements that were inconsistent, all in an effort to try and challenge the credibility of what happened that night. Now, despite the defense's efforts to discredit the witnesses, as well as paint the lead investigator in this case as biased against the former mayor, the jury found Misty Roberts guilty on both counts. One count of carnal knowledge of a juvenile and another of indecent behavior of a juvenile. The jury only deliberated for roughly an hour before reaching her verdict. Now, this is video of Roberts leaving the courthouse yesterday per KPLC after the verdict. Reporters in the courtroom said when that verdict was read, the former mayor was sobbing. And the victim's mom also broke down emotionally. She had to leave the courtroom. Now, Roberts did not give comment to reporters on her way out the door. She was very stoic, did not reply to any of the questions reporters asked. She is set to be sentenced on April 17th, and she is facing some pretty serious prison time. Carnal knowledge in Louisiana carries a sentence of up to 10 years in prison, and then the indecent behavior count that she was found guilty of. Both of these are felonies, by the way. She could be sentenced up to 7 years in prison. And KPLC says that she will be required to register as a tier 1 sex offender, no matter what. Joining us now to talk more about this case is
Put her picture it the sick as hell. All right, I'm done. That's all the information right there. Let's see. Debra says, oh, her getting the morning after pill is no dispute. Yeah, exactly. And the text messages and everything. I don't know, but that's how good they are at lying. You could see these people doing things, and if you allow yourself to listen to them, they will mind fuck you and make you think you did not see what you just saw. Okay, that's how good they are. The text messages, the morning pill, the fight, the kids seen it, the daughter crying, and notice how they've kept the daughter, they kept her quiet this entire trial. But they gonna convince you ain't see what you saw. That's how they are. Shout out to Prince of Petty says a tier 1 sex offender in Louisiana is classified as having committed a lower level, often nonviolent sex offense requiring registration with law enforcement for 15 years. You see the wrist? Slap on the wrist. She should have harsher punishment because she's a mayor. Right? She should be held to a higher standard. Her punishment should be harsher, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be a slap on the wrist. There's no way they're gonna give her 10 years or anything like that. Debra says, is she going to do the prison time concurrently or separately? Because 10 years is not enough. Excuse me. She hasn't been sentenced yet. What we read, actually in today's the no. She gets sentenced in April, I believe, 17th. We still in March. So she has a while before they even sentence her. So she hasn't been sentenced yet. She was the reason she has to register as a sex offender already is because she was already found guilty on these other charges. But these current charges right now that face up to 10 years, she hasn't been sentenced yet. So we gotta wait to April. Yeah, Prince. That's crazy. I think, but most people that read tier 1, they don't know the level, you know what I'm saying? So most people be like, she got to register as a sex offender, and they think that's good enough, right? But they don't realize she only got to do that for 15 years, and she's in a small town. Like, it's not going to affect her. That 15 years, this is a slap on the wrist. Prince Petty says I promise it's going to be concurrently. Shout out Debra says, right, telling her son to go fight his friend, he the one did it, is bullshit. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, she's sick. Like, she didn't feel no shame with her children seeing her have sex or anything. Her response is like, and so what? I did it. And so what? Go fight your homie about it. Like, she's sick. She crazy, man. Boom, 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 boom. All right, I'm gonna get my final thoughts, and then I'm up out of here. I got some more recording to do because I want to have stuff for the week. I want things that are coming out during the week. I might even do like a pre-recording live. It's like and then I want to do another live for today, and I want to be able to make sure I have something for tomorrow, because last week I fell off. I didn't do anything, but last week it was storms. It's still been storms. Like, this week's been like tornado warnings and stuff, but last weekend was bad. But This case forces us to confront a truth society still avoids. Female perpetrated abuse is real, it's underreported, and it's often minimized because of gender stereotypes. When the abuser is a woman, especially a mother, a leader, a polished public figure, people hesitate to believe the victim. But power is power, grooming is grooming, and trauma doesn't care about the gender of the person who caused it. The real tragedy here isn't just the crime, it's the ripple effect. A teenage boy betrayed, a son forced to witness the unthinkable, a family shattered, a community blindsided. And once again, we're reminded that predators don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look like mayors, women mayors, wearing bikinis, standing by a pool, holding alcohol, passing it out to teenagers. This is Risky Behavior ENT, where we expose the patterns, challenge the narratives, and shine a light on the stories others try to bury. Stay aware, stay sharp, and remember, the truth is never as clean as the headlines. I want to say that I appreciate you all being here. Appreciate y'all. Yep. Debra says she hasn't been sitting yet. She's walking around all freaky, able to harass the other kids 16 years old. Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, yo, Prince, I gotta
Wrong with you, wrong with you.
yeah, man, bro. I've been working on this stuff, man. Shout out to me, man. Diabolical. Yeah. Prince said we lit. Yeah, man. But yeah, bro, I'm about to close it out. I mean, I appreciate you all. Hope y'all have a blessed day. I'm gonna try to come back. I just got to do a bunch of recording and editing, and so I'm gonna try to come back and definitely do a live tonight. It probably be like a Dr. Dav show or something like that. Like like the little talk panels where people, it's kind of like debating, but it's not really debating because it's respectful. So it's not really too much of a back and forth. It's just an open, honest conversation and stuff. So I probably come back and try to do something like that. Or I might watch a classic debate. It ain't like it's a big deal debate or something, but they're always throwing Tommy Sotomayor's videos off of the internet. So if I find one, I'll react to it. That way I'll have it and it'll be on my channel or something like that. But anyway, man. But I appreciate you all, man. Look, stay aware. Please stay aware. Debra, yeah, women mayors with bikinis on. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Stay aware, man. Predators don't always look like monsters, man. We got to get Hollywood has fucked our mind up and makes us think like, oh, this is what a predator. I'm telling you, from doing these news stories, I started realizing like these people never look how they look on the movies. Never, man. Like I said, as a parent, your your kid asks, like, hey, so and so's throwing a party, a birthday party. Can I go? I mean, one place that you probably would be more comfortable sending your kid is the mayor's house. You're like, this is the mayor, right? You would never think a mayor, this woman would be doing this. But you have to be aware that you can't cut no slack with none of these people, man. It could be the mayor, it could be the police officer, it could be they got one story with the doctor. They got another story I'm gonna do and react to with the damn football player asked Chat GPT how to fucking get away with murder, man. These people are crazy out here, and you don't know what they look like. So you just have to be aware of everyone. Shout out to you, Debra. Thank you. Prince says my kids' friends mostly white. After this, the answer may be no. Oh man, yo, bro. Hey, Prince, I'm gonna do this one more time for you, bro, and then before I close it out, I gotta. Oh yeah, your favorite one.
Fuck you. Fuck you too. You acting like you ain't black. I'll never be one of you motherfuckers. I'll never be one of you motherfucking.
Oh man. All right, bro. I'm about to head out, about to end it, man. He said, I'll never be one of you mother. I knew it get you every time. It never gets old. It never gets old. Exactly. Never gets old, man. All right, y'all, man. I'm about to head out. Let me record this content and get it out to you. I appreciate you all. Be blessed. Have an amazing day. Stay encouraged. I'm about to upload a short that is going to be about making sure you put positivity into your mental. I know we like to be entertained. We like to look at these stories, but just as much as we put stuff into our brain that to entertain us, we got to remember to also put things in our brain that encourage us. So and that's just goes along with changing our thought patterns. Many times we like when we go home, the day was hard, and so we go, man, what can I do to escape? Sometimes do the reverse and say, what can I do to overcome this? And then look for things that are motivational, positive, that you can put into your brain and think better. Like I just did this story and this is disturbing. I'm about to go watch something positive. I'm about to go watch some comedy, but some like positive comedy type stuff and detox my mental after reading about this sick ass woman, old ass woman to get in a bikini and get drunk with kids and then screw them. So I got a detox after this. But anywho, I'm out. This is Risky Behavior ENT. I am your boy, your homie, your friend, Mr. Diabolical himself. I want y'all to be blessed. Stay safe out there. I will catch you next.
Risky behavior.